Welcome to InvestoPads. Brace yourself for a deep dive into the latest news and advancements in global affairs, international relations, and technology. Across the state, home prices and taxes are in decline. The situation in cities like Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio is becoming more concerning due to significant price cuts. Experts have been highlighting Austin as the potential epicenter of a looming housing crash. Recent data from Texas lends weight to these concerns as inventory levels in many cities are rapidly rising. According to experts, inventory levels often hold the key to understanding the market, indicating whether prices will rise or fall. Historically, housing crashes have often begun with a notable surge in available homes for sale. A case in point, recent figures from Realtor.com and the Revenger app reveal a striking 47% increase in listings for the Austin market. This growth has been so swift that it has surpassed pre-2020 crisis levels. The implication is that there are currently as many homes for sale in Austin as there were before the significant health crises of 2020. Currently, there are as many houses for sale in Austin as there were in 2019. This contributes to the explanation for the significant crash witnessed in 2022, when home prices suddenly plummeted almost overnight during the previous summer. While prices have since regained some stability in the city, many experts remain concerned about other alarming indicators that continue to raise concerns. For instance, focusing on Austin, the average number of days a home remains on the market has more than doubled in the past year. In June 2022, the typical listing would stay available for about 21 days, whereas today, that duration has surged to 45 days. For many observers, this surge is viewed as a worrisome signal of weakening demand, underscoring the notion that the Austin market still faces challenges despite recent price trends. This situation could potentially lead to another form of collapse, akin to a canary in the coal mine, potentially setting a precedent for the rest of the nation. Adding to these concerns, the bond market has experienced significant upheaval in the past week, with the 10-year Treasury yield surging from 3.6% at the beginning of summer to nearly 4.1%. Although it might not immediately seem significant, this unexpected surge led mortgage rates to soar beyond 7%, reaching levels not seen in 23 years. Given the already elevated prices that have rendered the market sensitive, even slight increases beyond that 7% mark can substantially impact demand and eventually trigger price drops. These drastic shifts have consistently caught experts off guard, making it nearly impossible to accurately predict their consequences. The full extent of these recent developments' impact is still unknown, but considering the already unfavorable data from Texas preceding these events, it wouldn't be surprising to witness substantial price declines by year-end. Economists recognize that every market possesses a breaking point, and with each uptick in this rate, we edge closer to the precipice. Now, before delving into the specifics, I encourage you to take a moment to engage with the content, liking and subscribing. Each like supports the algorithm in spreading this video's reach, and I genuinely appreciate your 5-second effort. Returning to the topic at hand, this critical juncture, this point of no return, is situated above the 7% threshold. This realm has remained uncharted since the 1990s. Considering the considerable price inflation, setting aside interest rates, the housing market starts to resemble a precarious stack of cards, with every gradual rate increase potentially destabilizing it further. The very foundation quivers and sways, seemingly challenging the principles of economics. Throughout Texas, we gather evidence pointing to this being the genesis of the impending crash. Beyond prominent hubs like Austin, even areas like Temple are grappling with substantial inventory issues. In this particular market, the count of active listings surges daily, now reaching 1620, a notable 21 higher than figures recorded in July 2019. This narrative echoes in other parts of the state. In Waco, Texas, active listings surged by nearly 10% in July alone, exceeding the 2019 levels as well. According to Lance Lampert, amidst the nation's 200 largest housing markets tracked by Realtor.com, only 7 markets have reclaimed pre-2020 inventory levels, and 5 of those are in Texas, In essence, what's crucial to convey is that if a market warrants vigilant observation, it is undoubtedly Texas. As interest rates climb and demand gradually softens, Texas becomes the arena where significant shifts will materialize first. Ultimately, this story circles back to a somewhat under-discussed financial tool, the 10-year yield. As this measure continues its ascent, the potential damage to the market could exponentially amplify. Numerous bond experts contend that should this 10-year yield manage to breach the local peak, precisely at 4.21% from back in October, the prospect of reaching 5% becomes an imminent reality. So what implications does all of this hold for us? Well, if the 10-year yield manages to ascend to that 5% threshold, it's highly probable that mortgage rates would soar beyond 8%. This would lead us into uncharted territory, not only within the residential sphere, but impacting the broader economy as well. At this very moment, one can secure a one-year certificate of deposit, CD, offering approximately 5.5% in returns. Consider someone contemplating an investment in real estate. If fortunate, they might anticipate a 7% rate of return. As interest rates continue their upward trend, so do fixed income returns. Consequently, investors might become progressively disinclined to channel their funds into homes. After all, they could simply park their resources in a bank account for a year and attain returns comparable to, or even surpassing what property investment would yield. The added advantage is that this requires zero effort. Just set up the account and transfer the funds. This ripple effect also manifests in various other outcomes. Commercial real estate begins to stumble, the stock market tends to waver, banks encounter challenges, consumer spending contracts, and governmental budgets tighten. Collectively, this acts as a brake on the overall economy. Now, as we cross the threshold of 7%, the wheels are gradually locking up. The optimism lies in the aspiration for a soft landing. However, when applying this much pressure on the brakes, it remains uncertain whether the Federal Reserve can maintain full control during the descent. Especially in locales like Austin, the effects of this complex situation become tangible. The ramifications of this will be almost immediate, particularly in regions where the supply remains constrained. In such areas, however, the extent of damage might take some time to manifest. The crucial question at this juncture is how much further escalation we can withstand, a query that's perplexing everyone attempting to find an answer. As for what lies ahead from this point on, it's a realm of uncertainty, open to anyone's conjecture. Nevertheless, what we can assert is that if adversity awaits on the horizon, its initial signs are likely to manifest here in the Lone Star State. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, please consider liking and subscribing if you found this valuable.